So we're gonna be making some oatmeal today, and this is probably the one question I get asked a lot compared to out of all the questions that you can possibly ask a personal trainer is, do you actually enjoy eating your oats? And yeah, this is my favorite meal. And a lot of the questions are, what do you put in it? Oh, how much water do you put in it? Especially from clients when I have it in their plans, or even online when I'm just posting on my stories. And we only need three real ingredients in this, and that's water, raspberries, and the protein isolate. This is pretty much a meal where you can get the most volume in, but a lot of people kind of miss out on that because they put in like chocolate chips and milk, and that just adds on the calories. But if you just have the oatmeal itself, right, you'll actually have a really, really full stomach just because you can actually have so much of it. So got the water boiling here, and got the bowl and the oats ready. So this recipe is more so timing based and the amount of water you're using, right? And compared to anything else and how it's gonna taste. The taste is really good, and that's depending on the protein you use. I'll show you guys that in a bit, but more so the timing of everything. And to be honest, the actual process takes long, but if you actually do it properly, it only takes 5 minutes. And I'll show you guys what I'm talking about once I start preparing it. But let me just put in the oats. So, of course, everything has to be measured to the T. Sorry if I'm messing up. Wait up, I'm just putting it on me. I'm kind of new to this thing, so for me, that's 80 grams. I don't know if you guys can see that. Well, for you guys, it's looking like 0.8, but yeah, that's a lot of oatmeal. And I actually used to have 100 grams every single day in the off season, but we're cutting right now. So since I use 80 grams of oats, I use about 360 grams of water. So you pretty much want to submerge the whole thing, right? And just to kind of give you a quick calculation, so 80 grams divided by 10 is, or divided by 8 is 10, right? And if you do the same thing with 360, you get about 45 milliliters of water. So a quick little process is, for every gram, put 4 milliliters of water. So if you have 10 grams, put 40. If you have 100, put 400. And that pretty much will get you to where you want, especially in terms of thickness. So now we're gonna put in some frozen raspberries. The reason why I use frozen raspberries is because they melt by the time. You can use regular berries and put them at the end, but this way, for some reason, it just kind of cools the whole thing down, and you'll see why we're pretty much gonna bring it out after. So about 100 grams is what I use. All right, so what we're gonna do next is we're gonna cover this baby up, and we're just gonna leave it there. So this is where the whole process comes in. I leave it there for 30 minutes. Sometimes I leave it there for an hour. Sometimes I only leave it there for 20 or 15 minutes, right? So here's a little quick tip for you. When you first wake up, just get this done. And that's the 5 minutes that you're gonna need. And then after, what I do is I'll either go have a lecture or build on some client plans, or sometimes I even go for a walk. And on Sundays, I actually go grocery shopping after this, and I come back and have the meal. So the really good thing about this is you only need 5 minutes before and 5 minutes after, and you can really do whatever you want in between. Like if you have to go to a job or something, come downstairs, prepare the oatmeal, go upstairs, get ready, come back down, and eat your oatmeal, and you're on the way. All right, so we're back, and I got a cameraman here now, so it'll be a little bit easier because I can show you guys how. So it's actually been an hour. I think the time right now is 8 o'clock. I left you guys around 7. So I went out, got some work done. But this is how it should look like after. See how you can't really see any water, so everything got absorbed. So now, this is the key process right here. This protein right here. This is the one difference that it's gonna make. So I'm gonna drop 30 grams on here. be precise. All right, 30 grams. And this here. One other ingredient that I do put in here is cinnamon. It's just to enhance the taste. You don't really have to put it, but just make sure that you're putting in the type of protein that you enjoy. So the main ingredient is that just pick out the protein that you really like, and that's the one that will help you adhere to it, or adhere to actually making the whole process. And now we're just gonna mix it up. So I just kind of spread the cinnamon in first. So this is a special technique right here that I made up. So under and up, under and up. Just keep kind of going until everything gets mixed up. You are pretty much done. You can leave it here and just kind of have it cold, but it's actually a little bit runny for my liking. So we're gonna drop it in here for a minute. I'm just gonna let it go. All right, that was a minute. And if you can see here, there's a little bit of thickness, but to be honest, it's still not enough. And I do like it sizzling hot, my oatmeal, just because it takes a little bit longer to eat, right? So I'm actually gonna drop it in here for another minute. And sometimes even a minute and a half. It's usually a minute and a half, so. But I'll start off with a minute. It'll start boiling in there pretty much, and I'll add another 30 seconds, depending on how it looks. All right. I'm actually gonna need to use oven mitts for this. Alright, so this is what I was talking about. See this little crust? This is what you want. Now you know, like, it's actually to the level of thickness that you want, and it's actually super hot. I can barely touch the bowl. And this is the perfect consistency. And this whole process is what gets rid of that texture, just because you want all the water to be absorbed in there. And you can even start off with a little bit more water. You kind of have to test it out. Certain proteins, they're a little bit more runny, so you might have to bring the water down. But overall, you can just keep microwaving it until it gets super thick. So you can start off with a little bit more water if you want, but that's how you can do it. So I'm gonna enjoy the oatmeal. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and share with your friends. And I'll see you guys next week.